In fact, I doubt why you still have her as part of your team. Yet he has screwed you in this process.
Yeah. I'll beg for your protection, Chair, on this one.
Something?
Senator Seki?
Thank you, Senator Chair. I just want to say, with a lot of experience in issues of devolution and counties, I've worked as a county secretary for many years, over 10 years. I've also advised counties during the transition authorities period of 2012, 2013. I think it is important that you take this advice from the Senate Committee of PAC, because it seems, Governor, you have a very big problem on how you've been advised on issues of this receipt of revenue. Receipt of revenue is a structure on its own. And I think I want to correct our legal counsel from your county that he needs really to go back and even seek advice from this committee and even from the legal counsel of the Senate, because you need to have a structure which is not, the receipt of revenue should not even be CEOs of within your counties, within the departments. It should be a structure within the entire government, such under the CC in charge of finance. So I think it is good that you get it right, and immediately you get a receipt of revenue. It takes charge of almost everything and report to the CC in charge of finance, so that you don't have these other problems. But these are things that we can always discuss out of the cuff.
Chair, thank you, Senator. Chair, my request, Senator Sifuna. My request is, when you exit this conversation, because you have the privilege of hosting the Senate in your county. Not many counties get that privilege. I would want to hear from you, Governor. The one thing that Senate can do for you to help you with your own source revenue as we exit that conversation. Okay, Senator Wambua.
Chair.
Then Senator Maruma.
Mine will be to the county attorney through the governor. Personally, I don't believe that the county attorney has given you the right advice, and I don't believe that he is not aware that he has not given you the wrong advice. This running of government cannot be whimsical. It cannot be what people feel or people interpret laws. I believe that somebody has deliberately, Governor, misguided you on this matter. I will not use the strong words that my friend Senator Cheragi has used, but there is very gray areas in your revenue collection, very gray areas, and somebody is deliberately misadvising the office of the governor. I think.
Thank you, Senator Maruma, Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
We need to make progress. I'll allow you to respond to the issues raised, very brief comments, and then perhaps what Senator Sifuna has requested, okay, so that we move to the executive report.
Chair, maybe if I start with the last one, I think in this one, the main reason between the 80 and what was collected, I think must have been silo. Huh? Yeah. This is this silo contribution, I think, where we were expecting almost 58 million out of that amount. And then the rest, the chair, I just agree with you that we need to see how best to improve. I think that was one of the main reasons for that big difference.
But maybe I'll notice there was a drop.
Yes, I've said, I've taken note of that, just the way you mentioned it.
Explained by the other theories that you had advanced earlier?
No, the other ones that we had on physical planning and all those are issues that I need to really delve deep into.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. So, Chair, maybe I'll just start with what Senator Seki said and finish with what Senator Sifuna had said. For Seki, I think one of the biggest problems, and it's good that you worked with, you said you had some experience with transition authority. One of the biggest problems I faced here when I came in here, you know, we didn't even have a staff establishment. We have been using those temporary arrangements of transition authority. And I'm just saying maybe it's one of the reasons we even got this issue we have just had about receiver of revenue, got it wrong, because it was not even in our staff establishment. But there was also no staff establishment. It's just now that we are having staff establishment. So I agree with you that there are a lot of areas that need to be improved. But for 10 years, almost 14 years, we have been using that transition authority thing. And you can see the way our government was configured. So I'll agree with you that there will be areas to improve. On what Senator Wambua, you said, I think I can leave it the way it is. It was a form of advisory on what needs to be done. On what Senator Sifuna has said, there are quite a number of initiatives, as I had said earlier, like the act that we stepped down. Maybe we can bring it to the Senate. You look at it, the one that had been passed by our county assembly, and maybe advise. I hope we'll be able to get a copy so that we can share with the Senate when they are still here and look on how best we can go around some of those areas that need to be done. And to me, because of revenue collection has to come from, you know, the acts we generate through the county assembly and then how the executive is able to execute them. I would rather that I compile whatever we have and why maybe we have been ineffective in implementing. And before you leave, we should be able to have a session and share. And the quick one is just what I said, the one that we were asked to step down, because we didn't withdraw it. It is still active, but we were just told, you know, it seems to be contravening some international treaties. Please step it down until we do further consultation. So part of the consultation we can do is when the Senate is here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe as an advice is, and perhaps you need to direct your team, is that you as a governor, you are the one who is elected. You are the one who talks to the people.
Yes.
And it must be clear to the market woman that when she pays 20 shillings for market access fee, that money finds itself in the accounts of the county and comes back to improve the market. This conversation you have had here, some people might interpret it to mean that that money does not reach where it's supposed to reach. And I think that you have a responsibility to ensure there is that transparency and accountability for every shilling that is collected. We are loud at talking about corruption at the national government, but people feel corruption at the county government more than the one in Nairobi. So please make sure that there are no hints and no perceptions that you are taxing a boda rider, a market trader, a truck driver, and then that money disappears in a conversation around receiver of revenue. Those are the things that make devolution look bad.
Yeah.
So,
but Chair, you'll also see, just like you had said earlier, in subsequent years, we're improving bit by bit. And I tend to think as we continue to have these conversations, we are going to be improving. But because there is always an improvement on what we have been doing.
Governor, your officers owe you some technical explanation, because the Auditor General has told us they're already on the ground. Your own source revenue is at about 500 million now. Why? Because of two things: hospital fees and the new basis of accounting. It is not true growth. So if they are telling you that you have collected 500 million and you should be happy, put them, and you know, you're a man who has been in all levels of government. The only thing you haven't been is president. You must ask that question. Do not go proclaiming you have collected 500 million before you have interrogated. Some people will steal from the public and then tell you that you have grown because we have gone to accrual basis of accounting. So please, before you pronounce it, interrogate it. Members, can we proceed to the report on the executive? On the report on the executive, the opinion of the Auditor General was, Oeji, what was your opinion?
Qualified Chair.
Now, on that report, the Senate attempted to come up with recommendations. But we made recommendations on the basis of written submissions, because, Governor, you did not appear before this committee to explain measures taken or to respond to the issues that were raised by the Auditor General. I think at this point, because this is a matter that came up at a past meeting that we had with the Auditor General, the senator from Busia, Senator Okoiti Omtata, had raised concerns about the report of the Auditor General for the financial year 2022-2023. The senator went ahead and wrote to the Auditor General asking the OAG to expand her scope of audit to cover a few issues. One of the issues the senator wanted interrogated for lawfulness and efficiency was construction of the governor's launch. The other one were allegations of mispropriety in award of contract to WebTribe. The other one was procurement of a refrigerated truck. The other one was on beautification of Busia. The other one was on medical supplies, alleged fraudulent procurements leading to the lack of medical supplies to county hospitals. Then there was an issue on hire of dredgers from Uasin Gishu. There was an issue on pending bills and an issue on impress management. Now, the reason why I raise that, because that letter was properly served on this committee, properly served on the Auditor General, and properly served on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We have already discussed this, so I just want very, very quickly the OAG to give us an update on how that matter was dealt with and whether those issues are in this report, and maybe EACC to give us an update so that we don't brush that letter aside, and then now we can go to the substantive report. OAG.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On those particular matters that were raised in that letter to the Auditor General, in the subsequent audit of 2023-2024, the following issues were raised. One, matters on pending bills and emphasis of matter, issue number 2. Then, Chair, on the report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources, issue number 3.4 on trailer park at Mudida. Then, Chair, another issue was raised at paragraph number 4 under the same section of the report, titled Unexplained Construction of Designated Parking Areas at Busia Municipality. Honorable Chair, another paragraph is raised at the number 5, titled Incomplete Innovation of Busia Stadium. Honorable Chair, another issue is raised at the paragraph 6 on Unexplained Reorganization of Busia Town. Honorable Chair, another issue, number 7, raised, titled Abandoned Project. Description is on modern fitting room at Bunyala Fishermen Comparative Society. Honorable Chair, another issue was raised at the Receiver of Revenue Report, at the paragraph 7, and that issue is titled Integrated Revenue at the Hospital Management System. The contract amount, sorry, was 59 million. Chair, on the hire of a dredger, we didn't get any evidence that any payment were made to the county government of Uasin Gishu. Then, Chair, on the procurement of Governor's Lodge, that matter had been reported during the year 2022-2023, and the Governor indicated, or management indicated that EACC took the document for investigation. Chair can confirm that we wrote to EACC and they confirmed to us that they took all the documents in relation to that matter. Chair, we are still monitoring that matter in the current audit for 2024-2025. So the matter is not yet cleared, even if we have not been given documents. We have confirmation from EACC that they took the document for investigations.
Yeah, but I think, as you had said earlier, that matter, even though the EACC is investigating it, if the non-conformances you had raised have not been addressed, then it should not disappear from your report.
Sure, that is noted. We are going to have it included in the current audit of 2024-2025.
Yeah, so that we don't give the wrong impression that this committee has cleared a matter and yet it is still outstanding. Senator,
I just get clarity from the auditor. How much money was involved in that governor's launch? What was the figure involved?
You can give us a few minutes, we can come, Chair.
And Chair, when the auditor, EACC picks documents, why can't they just maybe do copies, certify them for the sake of having the documents back to the entity for the sake of auditing? How long would the EACC stay with the documents? Infinitesimally? Will they never come back to the entity?
They took original documents and they never left out back copies. And as auditors, we don't audit copies. You can only look at certified copies.
No, I think we'll get into a conversation which we said we didn't want to get into. The amount involved in the governor's launch was 29.9 million. It was in an audit report. The concern is that it is no longer in the audit report and yet it remains unresolved. That is a concern. Yes. And we have already addressed that and we have agreed that in the audit you are carrying out, if the gaps are still unresolved, it must find itself in the audit report.
Yes, we will, Chair.
Because I think Busia is a fairly litigious county. I think there are some decisions that have come from the courts with regards to the role of even a senator in terms of oversight. So if it does not find itself here, the senator will find it very difficult to raise it, suo motu, or to raise it in their individual capacity. That is a problem that we must deal with. Anything unresolved must find their way into the next audit.
That's noted, Chair.
Now, the good thing is that EACC has also given us an update earlier. I don't know whether you want to address the issues that we are dealing with regards to the issues that we've just listed.
Yes, Chair. I can address myself to one as we begin. On the issue of provision of documents, the Commission has always released documents to the OAG for audit upon request. In the event where we are holding original documents, all we would request for is to have copies of certified documents, and then we have always been ready to release original documents for purposes for audit. As regards the letter in discussion, Chair, the matters that were brought to our attention were picked up by EACC, and as I had earlier briefed this committee, several of them are actively under investigation at various stages, with some significantly progressing to conclusion, and maybe I can list them, Chair.
Yeah, if it does not prejudice your proceedings.
I would not go into much of the details, but fraudulent procurement leading to lack of medical supplies at the county hospital, consultancy services for the construction of the industrial park, pending bills, specifically in the Department of Trade and Investment, irregular disbursement of interest, the Governor's Lodge and the Busia Stadium, Chair, are some of the matters that are actively under investigation by EACC.
Okay. I think we're just trying to make sure that there's some continuity from where we were at the last meeting we had in Nairobi, and in between some conversations that have gone on with the OAG and the EACC. And of course, there have been some decisions that the courts have made. more or less somehow related to what we are doing here. So now, can we come to the main report and see how the auditor captured, because he has indicated that 90% of the requests from the senator are in this report. So let's see how that has been captured and how the county has addressed itself to it. Starting with the first section of the report, on the basis of qualified opinion, there were a number of issues of unsupported expenditure. Issue number one, Auditor General, what was the unsupported expenditure on and what was the amount?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The total amount was 16.5 million relating to domestic travel and subsistence.
So when we made our recommendation, we relied on your written responses. And you might see that our recommendation is that you take administrative action on the officers who fail to provide the documents. However, upon examination of what you tendered as evidence, the Auditor General advises us that that expenditure is yet to be supported. The recommendation we made was on the basis that what you submitted in writing supported the expenditure. The Auditor General tells us that what you submitted in writing does not in any way support the expenditure of 16.5 million. And since today is not a day of audit, perhaps then we should just give directions. Governor, small things, 16.5 million, small money spent by your officers. The auditor comes, they can't explain it. You write a letter to Senate, it does not explain it. Why should we waste time on this? If expenditure was not supported at the time of audit and remains unsupported 10 months later, what business does Senate have? Auditor General, am I misrepresenting the facts? Is the 16.5 million supported in your view?
No, they only produced evidence of travel.
Of?
Evidence of travel.
Okay.
But other documents were not provided. Evidence of travel.
Yeah.
So-
I can see here, Chair, that the auditor has been courteous enough, Governor, to specify the documents he wants from your team. The invitation letters to attend meetings or conferences, attendance lists.
Who was the file? You submitted. Chair, let me allow my chief officer to say something.